The first tournament of Chapter 7 is over. It was a skin cup, but some of those games were incredibly stacked. As you can see, this one had like 45 moving or whatever it was. Very, very crazy. So I'm going to look through a bunch of games and try to figure out what is the tournament meta, what weapons people are carrying, what mobility they're using, how they use it, and all that fun stuff. Let's get to it. All right, Kha'Zix here was the guy who actually won the entire tournament. So I'm going to watch the game from his perspective. I'm going to go back in a second, but I want to check out the inventories first. So the main thing I actually want to really look at actually is assault rifles, because, you know, if you watch my main channel video, you'll know I've talked a lot about pistols being good. This weapon, the Enforcer, is actually, in my opinion, the one I'm going to carry probably for the most of it. Also, a lot of people are still carrying this scoped assault rifle. So let's kind of see. Wow, this guy is scuffed. How do you get into this situation with 2 AR bullets? Anyway, that's Babo. Is that Babo Finn? That is Babo Finn, actually. Yeah, mate, that skin cup's not going well for him. This AR, this AR, this AR, this AR, this one, this one, this one. Pistol, my goat. That is some serious loadout. It seems like most people are actually still opting to carry the scoped assault rifle. I did say in my main channel video, at the end of the day, a scoped assault rifle is just always going to be like the main choice for comp for the most part. Me personally, I don't know. I'm just some cheeks with it, so I don't know if it's going to be my main carry. Especially, I guess this is a really surge heavy game, right? This is like a pretty stat game. It's final late on, so maybe I'll also do this in like a more dead game and see what people are like W keying with. Kurama is a fantastic solo player. If he's carrying it, it probably is somewhat the meta. Yeah, okay. This guy's carrying that SMG, which I highly would not recommend. It's okay, but how many kills do you get with it? Hold on. What is going on here? What have I just seen? Hold on. Oh, player on his wall. Oh, he gets the knock and the player's the player just rolling around. I've said this to Epic as a bit of my feedback. I think they need to disable the self-revive in solos because it is ridiculous. I got a couple of games where I got into Endgame and like you get a knock and the bodies just run away from you. They just roll away. It's very, very annoying if you kill them from distance. Anyway, people are carrying this assault rifle. That's the big take. All right, so I'm gonna go all around this video. There's gonna be just random tips and just stuff I'm figuring out as we go on, but I will summarize everything at the else. What I saw here was very interesting. Major here gets a kill backside, and as the siphon's ticking here, the one good thing about the jetpack, or the wingsuit, that's what it's called, sorry. See how he goes up with it here? Instantly dives straight back down. I think in endgames and in a lot of the early game scenarios, this is also going to be the main way that you really want to use this. If I draw on the screen here. So if you imagine, as you fly up with this initial boost, you're going very quick. And that initial bit, like say like to here, before you kind of slow down at the top here, you're going really fast. You're also still at this moment. So at this point, it's easy to shoot you. So like as you're just about to use it, it's very easy to shoot you. And then at the top half, it's also very easy to shoot you. So what a mistake I made yesterday when I was trying to play this tournament was that I tried to do this thing, right? So if you kind of look up and down, you'll wave like this, and this will genuinely keep you moving the fastest. But that's not really actually that useful because in these turnaround points here, so every time you're like looking up and then you start to look down to gain speed again to stay up in the sky as long as possible. If you don't know, the way to stay in the sky as long as possible is to do this, where you keep looking up and looking up. In these like turnaround points where you start looking back up again, you're actually flying really slowly, and it's really easy to get beamed at this point. By doing what that guy just did here, Major, I think his name was there. Once you hit this turnaround, you kind of go up and you immediately just go straight down, right? And then once you're kind of near, say the ground's like here, let me redo that. So say like you do like this. So say the ground is here, instantly duck and flip like, so if you're going to rotate, you'd rotate low along the ground and you can maintain the speed for a long time and then just land. Staying up super high, you're more than likely just going to get beamed. So in that instance, he was in the storm, used it, immediately went up, got out of storm with the siphon, and then flew back down, landed box straight away. You can build as soon as you land with the wingsuit, but you can't shoot. So, you know, if you're in a scuffed spot, fly out, instantly dip back down into a new spot, build just a box, and you're good to go. There's also something he does really good here once he gets this endgame elim. So the guy has self-revive. I've already mentioned self-revive is very annoying. Kills him here. The first thing he does is full boxes the body, right? You could see this guy trying to roll away. You could see him trying to get away here. He's trying to roll, but he's full box, so he can't actually end up leaving there. To try and, you know, make sure you actually get the bodies as quick as possible, full box them so they can't sprint and jump away from you if they're kind of within a tile, like if that's possible in that kind of area there, because you will probably lose them if not. That tip will be in my main channel video as well, so if you're on the extra channel, you probably heard it here first. You can see he does this rotate again that he does with the wings. Just going back to that here, because he gets this kill on this guy playing heal off. We both got medkits here. He's popping one. This guy's popping one below. Bang, knocks him. Doesn't box him here. He's only got 8 builds. It's funny, this guy obviously doesn't know he can roll away. I need to figure out the specifics of like how fast and early you can spam roll away, because if you get knocked, you should like immediately just try and roll to distance yourself from them. I don't know if there's like a cooldown or whatever. I'll figure that out for my main channel though. Anyway, he gets the elim. As the siphon's ticking yet again, he does the exact same thing. Flies up with a wingsuit from the backside of Storm. Probably could have landed on that. Jumps up a layer, boxes. Now he's safe. Very strange. I thought I skipped these. They didn't fix these zones. A strange zone we're looking at here. Bit weird one. Not entirely too sure how you play this. This is slightly completely off topic because it's not really that relevant to the actual video anymore because they have fixed this. In the third zone, for some reason, it totally closed. They must have like reversed the times of it or something. So it fully closed and then it opens from the center. Yeah, that's what's going on here. Now, one of the things that's important is these mending machines, which actually pop up on your map, so they're visible everywhere, are now way more relevant in competitive as well. Hopefully, we'll see some more examples of that in other games and from other players later on. It's only 200 gold to get a patch up, and for every single chest you open, there's a 100% chance that you either get 50, 75, or 100 gold. So you get 100% get some gold, and there's like a 1/3 chance that you're gonna get either one of those. So in order to get a patch up, like if you've opened 4 chests, you 100% have enough to open this. That's useful in other scenarios. In this instance, where the zone obviously is doing this weird bug, which doesn't make any sense, a lot of players rotate towards these, and in this scenario, like Major's already boxed on it. I guess he was just using the gold to keep himself alive. I'm not entirely sure. And then just kills this guy super easily. And that's what I mean. They all just roll away in ragdoll. I must say, it is funny. It is like a hilarious... it's a hilarious mechanic, but it's also not great. Now, in competitive, there's not a huge amount of point in killing a lot of the bosses. I will check that. I may be speaking too early, because the weapons aren't really that good. The one is the mythic electricity gun, which I've already forgotten the name of, which you can't get in competitive. The other is the tack that's mythic, which is pretty good, but most people are running the pump because the pump's so incredibly good this season. Then the other one is Hush, which gives you the mythic assault rifle. That's really good. So if you find the Hush boss, definitely worth killing. Here are the spawn locations from Assyrian they've got on map right now. As you can see, 4% chance. I think there's 3 of them each time though. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah. Anyway, these are the spawn locations. If you actually want to know where they are, you can't find a specific one, but throughout the bus, you can actually see them glide down. Actually, Assyrian has a comment of that right there, so they can see what it looks like. So in competitive only, they jump out of the bus. So you can actually watch to see when they jump out, and you'll be able to see where they are like this, see where they glide. Obviously, when you get onto the map, for example, in this game now that we're actually looking at here, right next to it, you can see that there's the henchman and the Hush. You can see that can't move this map. What is going on here? Hold on. Yeah, anyway, bottom right. There you go. Under my head, you can see it down there. This only appears when you're within 200 meters of them, so you actually don't know where they are. There's not like a guaranteed spawn. So if you have like the game plan of trying to get one of the bosses and you specifically want something from them, you should check and see where they're jumping out of the bus, and you can probably predict it from there. Also, a very important note is that they actually still might be worth beating even if you don't get Hush, because you don't want the weapon, because there's a 50% chance you can get a Chug Jug and a 50% chance you're going to get a self-revive. There's like it says there's a 20% chance you can actually get 2 spawns from this. So there's like, you're definitely going to get one. There's an 80% chance you'll get one of these 2, and there's a 20% chance you get 2 spawns. It could be like 2 self-revives or 2 chugs. But I think that in itself, especially if you're playing solos, having a self-revive is literally just a guaranteed carry. Even though in endgame, I was about to say I'm yet to see someone self-revive. I'll come back to that later. I have seen someone self-revive. It's going to be a short. But yeah, even just going for the Chug Jug or the self-revive, 100% worth it. Especially you also get like a chance of getting other good weapons. Nothing crazy from that, but most importantly, like you're really looking for the boss heal here. And if you kill Hush, like I mentioned, Hush will give you this. Now, the actual mythic, Assyrian doesn't have this on their thingy, but the mythic that they drop as well isn't really worth picking up. It's the one that gives you 350 HP. If you watch my main channel, I've already done a short on it. Basically, it gives you like wall hacks, or not, it gives everyone else wall hacks on you because you have an HP bar that's above your head. It also makes your character model massive, so you can't walk out floor edits. So it's not really worth picking up. Games, if you're listening, do not buff it. It'll be so broken. I like it. And the reason I mentioned that was just here because I was trying to figure out if it's worth killing. Vax here ends up landing, killing Hush herself, and you don't need to kill the NPCs at the side because as soon as you kill the main boss himself, they also die. So that's how he ended up getting the mythic AR. Now, he died with it, and I've not really seen any crazy beams, but I want to watch to see like how good this AR actually is. This is what I was talking about earlier, by the way, with this zone bug, where you can see he's like 13 HP, carrying no heals. What a rookie, by the way. What a rookie. At this point in the tournament, not carrying any white heals. Real knowers playing this tournament were always carrying medkits because they already knew that this zone was happening. That's all I'm going to say. So he's weak. He tries to land onto the vending, breaks in, gets shot in the back and one pumped, and then rolls about like a ragdoll. and then dies, of course. So yeah, this is back to Major, who is able to get the mythic. I want to see, you know, does he get any crazy beams with it? Like how easy is it to hit shots with? We'll see. And this is what I mean. Like the zone now opened up from the middle. Obviously, this is not going to be in any of your tournaments. They fixed this bug right now. But this was one of the strangest tournaments. Also, I forgot to add, the first like 2 games I played, every single zone pulled here. Every single zone. So like the first like 2-3 games, I was like, well, I know where I'm rotating to. Then they fixed that and then added this zone accidentally instead. So it was a weird tournament. Let's put it that way. One thing I've noticed is that it seems very hard to continually keep big pots. And, you know, there's not many team heals. Or there's no team heals outside of the shield keg. That's what I was trying to say. The shield keg. Shield keg's only team heal. Big pots do seem common, but because of this AR, you're getting tagged all of the time, right? Like people are just shooting you all the time. So like the likelihood that you're going to run out of big pots is very, very high. Like let's look through 2, 1. Hold on, let's get this 0. He's got a chug. 3, 1. None. 2 chugs. 1, 2. This guy's stacked. Look at his loadout. Whoa. None. 2. None. So you can see, like, even though a lot of these people have a lot of HP and like mats and stuff, they're in good positions. Like big pots seem very, very scarce. I guess it's just because people are getting tagged so much. I'm going to add to that, because of this weird zone, a lot of players were carrying medkits where they probably wouldn't otherwise be. So take that with a grain of salt. But I have noticed that, like, if you kill someone, the chance you actually get in big pots with them seems so low. I don't know what like the analysis of that's going to be. Good luck. He gets a little beam here. I don't know how much it is. And I'm really basing this off of like how strong it looks based on that. I mean, there's no recall that at all. 27, 27, 28 or whatever. 75 damage crack insta. So there's one thing about this gun that's really bad actually. It is the structure damage. Now this is particularly true for the blue and below, because if you don't know the blue, actually let me check that one sec. Yes, I thought I was going to make this up there for a second. The blue of this deals 24 structure damage. Now that is significantly worse than like the purple dealing 25, because this is actually 1 extra shot to destroy a wall, right? So for example, if you're going to shoot a wood wall, you could take 6 shots with this or any of the above rarities, and then you could replace a fully built wood wall. But it's 7 with any of them below, which actually throws off your muscle memory quite a lot. I've been playing some of the realistics box fighting maps and or realistic maps, sorry, 1v1 last night. They always have this blue AR in it. It's very confusing trying to wall replace, because it's like you always feel like it's doing less structure damage because of that 1 extra shot that it takes. Now, even in the higher rarities, like this, he's got the mythic right now. It still only has 154 damage per second, whereas like a lot of ARs in the past would have like 180, especially mythics would have closer to like 200. So this is like genuinely even against structures, the damage per second is much lower. So in order to actually like wall replace and box fight with it, I feel like you're just shooting this gun forever at every single wall. Like here, for example, right? He jumps up, tries to take the shot, little server lag, he reloads. I think, yeah, he tries to shoot like a... Look how long this takes. Like, that's like... That's 4 shots, and it's still not even, like, super duper weak at this point. So, yeah, the structure damage with this gun isn't that great. You kind of have to get used to that when you're box fighting with it. A lot more pickaxing, and also because the structure damage of the pump is much lower, too. You know, it's a lot harder to actually wall replace and stuff with. So, like, here, I find, like, a really interesting side effect of this, right? He's standing spraying. He's trying to, like... He's being really safe, covers his walls, covers his angles. By the way, I don't know how we started watching this random player. I just realized that this isn't the guy who's won this game. I had the mythic, and he's interested in me. We're going to watch a bunch of random people. But anyway, goes up, and look, this guy pumps the wall to his left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 shots. Look how much time he had to react to that. Like, pump and then 4 shots. Let's watch it at full speed. There you go. He's replacing himself. Places the wall there. Like... look at the amount of time he has to just to be like, oh, okay, I can hold the wall to the left here because the structure damage is so low. So yeah, defense and box fighting definitely has a massive buff this season. Personally, I very much don't like how it feels. If you piece someone, it's really hard to get out of that piece. Like, you're very rewarded for actually managing to put someone in the full box, which is really cool. Oh, this guy's making an error. Good sneak. 130. Of course, we get server lag as I'm trying to see it, but interesting. He kills him and insta goes. Right, here, let's see how he does it again. So he dives straight down. Oh, he's backflipping. What the hell? How do you backflip? So he gets his kill. Ends to use it. I don't know why he uses it so soon. Maybe it's just because, I mean, look at the zone. So use it, as I mentioned earlier, even in endgame, ends to turn around. So you look down and then gliding pretty low. Maybe he's not seeing anyone shooting, but I'd probably glide a little bit lower than that. How did he backflip there? I saw someone do that in one of my end games. I've not actually... Maybe it's just because he's looking down so fast or whatever. I'm not sure. I think another important note here is the rest of this partial, he's just run by foot. He's not like using the jetpack to get in, and he's not really been shot at all. There's a lot of people who have used it behind him. Yeah, there's a guy shooting him there. But mainly just running in. And I feel like a lot of these partials, honestly, like the jetpack is... I keep calling it the jetpack. The wingsuit is kind of rough. And he pulled this one. Okay. The rest of the game, we don't need to watch from here, but Ben Beans. This guy killed Ben Beans. Okay. RIP. Let's see. And this is someone who dies. Yeah, see how vulnerable you are there. And even in that transition, you can die so simply. Important to add, it's also... Oh, yeah, look at this. Like, someone running behind you in Storm like this. So this is a big mistake this guy made, being in the open here. One thing is if you're going to do this, I did this in a few of my tournaments. I wish I could actually show you because I'm not in game, but just before you do it, if you're sitting in the back of the Storm, you can place 2 walls and 2 high walls, or just one high wall. Because as you notice, like, he's gone up, like, over a tile. It pushes you over a tile high. So had he, like, just built like a wall here and then done it behind this, he wouldn't have anyone to, like, shoot him in the front. But now he gets tagged there and beamed out this guy. I would also add that if you are on controller, shooting players out of the sky is so much easier. I got fried by a little controller player yesterday. Holy moly, like 180. Just because it's so much easier to track. Like the movements are so smooth with it that like on the sticks, it's not that difficult to actually track. So yeah, watch out for it might be controller season. And go back to what I was talking about earlier. This was the guy who won. He also was 4th on the leaderboard. Kazin. 3 medkits and 2 bigs was what he opted to carry. Also, did not opt to carry the scope TR, but maybe he just didn't find like a better one. We'll see. Now what he does here, I very much so like. As we see, max 5th zone. Couldn't be more max for him. I think it's a mistake shooting this kid here because he lets people know he's still behind him, but he could get a free kill there. And then from back here, it's a 2-tick. He uses this here. So if you look at the map, obviously it doesn't show. There he is. He is the furthest person behind. Now it's on a max distance rotate, so he's already, it's already going to be rough. He was already like a totally max distance pool, but you can tank Storm here and then use this to kind of get himself a little bit ahead. Like he has like a window of not being tagged. Now I think the problem with this was the fact that he actually shot there, so everyone knew he was coming. So as he's doing this, bang. Look at that timing. He just gets shot from someone waiting. But potential there to like camp in the Storm a little bit behind. He's got the med kits. He can pop that. He can go in late just before it turns. I think he probably will end up doing this here. There's another med kit. I wonder if he plays the med kit and then grabs that other one. Doesn't seem like he's going to. He's just going to run in. Okay. There we go. Doing the same thing again. Tag Storm. Goes up. Did a little cannonball. Are these just like animations I don't know anything about? Or like, can you actually do those by pressing buttons? I'm not sure yet. By the time this video's up, I will have already tested this. Maybe I'll test this after this and we'll see. Now he's playing med kit. Again, that's a nice med kit. Again, the high wall, as I mentioned, blocks his front. Very, very nice. Jumps here and then flies over the zone. It's a 5-tick now, but he's able to get in. Jumps up. Cones. Spends the time to... Doesn't instantly pop his med kit. It's very important. Lets the build heal up. Waits so that he doesn't get lobbied and then it's going to heal. It's very interesting a supply drop has spawned, but it's literally in the Storm. So he's tarping over to try and get into it. I don't know if he can get... You're getting lobby focused if you go for that supply drop. There's absolutely no chance he manages that, surely. Have they increased the volume of footsteps? Do you hear how loud that guy was stomping there? That guy right next to him. Look, listen how loud that is. Have they changed the footstep audio? You hear him jumping. Oh, wow. What a goat on the rotates this guy is. Wow. Chopped him out. Bang. Cracked. That guy's getting lobbied. He does have the supply drop in his box. Now that guy's dead. Now he's got that person's loot and the supply drop. Wow. That is so free. Even though he got that loot, he didn't really get much. He still only has 62 builds and no big pots. Well, there's one like extra one lying in his box. At least he decided not to take. So despite that refresh, that guy was absolutely shambles. Right. Everyone is using wingsuits. Listen to this. So literally everyone uses them to get into the 7th zone. Being on a high layer here is literally the freest tags of all time. He has this pre-box built up above here, which is really nice. I wonder if he's going to tank any Storm. No, he's not. Same thing. Safe use. Flies straight up. He actually just opting to fully glide that, which is interesting. Slides and then takes it. Interesting, because usually when you land, you do a roll. I think by sliding, you cancel that roll. Look at this little guy. Look at this guy. I'm writing a couple things and I'll test them after this game before going to the next thing. Yeah, the audio in first moving goes crazy. I can't hear anything because it's all just the suits just going flying. K6 isn't really, isn't it? This is the second time in a row he's kind of staggered and done this late, right? So the first time he was the last person to use it. This time he's just running by foot. He's not even using the wingsuit in Endgame, which is interesting. I guess because he's also in a high layer, he can just run across the entire top, and most people above him are literally just flying. So it's not really that much of a problem, right? He's ready to play a medkit this early? Interesting. He's playing a medkit in like second moving when he still has 37 builds. Well, I guess you can use this and then just use the wingsuit right after. No, just gonna run. I swear that would be like a perfect time to use the wingsuit. Because like if you just use an early medkit, you then wingsuit, get the like you can rotate pretty much the entire zone for free. And maybe you take too much Storm after that. I don't know. Oh my god, who's this guy? Okay, guy jumped in his box. Free siphon. Now he's got a refresh. Cat mats all of a sudden after that. Yeah, he's not used the wingsuit once in this endgame. I'm not entirely sure I 100% think that that's the meta, but I think the one thing it shows that you don't need to use it. I think a lot of the successful endgames I played yesterday also did not have any wing. I basically used it like once, you know. It's really for like the partials and for like if you play through Storm and stuff, it's way better. Which makes me think that it's not a guaranteed carry. Like you could absolutely take 3 heal slots and not have the wingsuit at all and be totally fine. The max distance rotates might be a little little rough if you get some max partials, but you just kind of have to make sure you put yourself in like centers of some of those zones, I would say. Oh, he gets absolutely cracked into the back. Create some space, pop some minis. He's fine, he's fine. It's stuff like this, which is why I think self-revive needs to go. You know, look at his HP right now, 28 HP. Okay. He pickaxes in, easy kill. This guy gets knocked. Obviously, he's knocked because he has the self-revive. And then he jumps. This guy's, look, he's rolling about off the ramp. He's gone. This guy's just run deep into Storm. Like, imagine he'd gotten away there. Kha'Zix would have died because this isn't his box. He would taken like 2 ticks to Storm and just literally died there through no fault of his own. So like, I don't know. The self-revive is just really annoying. Like, I genuinely think like it ruins the kind of flow of the gameplay in Endgame where you get a knock. Like, you're not going to revive. That guy is 0% chance that he wins that game and keeps moving there. But he can roll out and kind of grief Kha'Zix a little bit, making it more difficult for him to get his siphon and also get his refresh. Like, the timings of this need to be, you know, pretty quick in order to get like a proper refresh out of it. You know, you have to be, there's minimal opportunities, and if your body just runs away from you, it kind of ruins that for a little bit. It's funny because he's been in the Storm, because there's like scuffed Storm, the bug, and then the fact that he's played Storm to play medkit and stuff, he's got sickness. I wonder how many people in this game would have had sickness also. Nice little slide down. Oh, nice shot. Now, something else, I'm going to cover this in my main channel video a little bit more. I don't know the specifics of this, but they have increased the strength of sliding. So as you see here, he drops and slides off of this cone. There's some speed boost now that's different from previous when you slide off of like ramps that are down. Like if you've jumped off a hill or like you've sprint jumped onto like a hill and slid down and jumped, you'll realize you go really far, especially if you do like reverse ramps. You fly down it. So in this instance, he dropped down, slid on this cone. You get like more projected backwards, basically. I'll figure out the specifics of it later on. But all I'm telling you is that sprint sliding off of like downwards ramps has absolutely been buffed. All right, let's test some things with a wingsuit. All right, so normally when you use this, if you fly down and as soon as you hit the ground, you're going to do a roll. As you notice there, even if I press slide there, I'm still going to do that little kind of awkward roll afterwards. However, if after I press this, I fly up and I land straight down and I immediately pull up my builds, you can see I've just cancelled there, right? So I just pressed build as soon as I did that. I didn't actually like press to build anything. I just pressed the build bind and it cancelled. But obviously you can build as soon as you land. So say I'm in an end game, for example, zone's pulling far. I'd put the high walls here to make sure I'm not visible. Fly up, land straight down. I'm going to land here. Press on floor, insta build. So yeah, basically by insta building, you cancel that roll, which is super useful. You don't even need to, as I mentioned, actually build. You just need to take out your builds. So I don't know how I'm going to actually visibly show you this. However, you can see it with the, with the ramps I've got down here. If I sprint and slide, like I swear you get so much more momentum. Like look at the speed of this. Like I swear that's so much further than it used to be. And you can use that to your advantage, in particular on cones. So I was doing this yesterday where I had a bunch of cones like this and I was on height and DJ was down here, for example. And as I rotated across, I sprint, jump, and slid off the cone, and you can see that you get like fired forward. So because of Peeker's advantage, because you're moving so quickly, you get such a free shot off on them now because of that big speed boost. There's also this height retake. I mean, thanks for not tagging me. Appreciate that. I don't like seeing these things anyway. It's all good. Doesn't even follow me. Actually, that's why. There we go. Maybe I don't show this. No, I'm joking. You can see as here. Actually, I'll full screen this in a second. Basically, what he ends up doing is placing a ramp over his head, hitting the pad, so it cancels it as you fly up. Now, how useful this is in game, I don't know, because as you're here, you're so exposed to the front. Sure, you're covered by the top because the ramp's overhead. Like everyone can see you from behind. This is a cool clip because they actually did it in a cup end game, which is kind of sick. But I also need to see if this gives you fall damage. Let me check. All right, so there's another strat you can do, which is also just to cancel this. So if you're just flying like this, if you look up as you're about to hit into like a wall, you will just stop, right? So see if I'm here, if I'm going down, if I just look up, I just bounce off it and then I can catch myself. You do like drop, like there's a little delay before you can build when you actually do this. So I dropped a few tiles, but as I drop, you actually take no fall damage. So, you know, if you just want to literally stop in endgame or bump into, you can just like literally hit your head into something and you'll fall down and then take your weapon out. So Snarl, I might be flying, I turn around. It's kind of tough to get it right. I'm flying into this. I just look up, bounce off it, already got my shotgun out, bang. Obviously, I'm not going to pump someone like that, but there are ways that you can cancel it like that in the air, particularly if you're like flying and you're just getting shot, look into something, bump into it, and you should fall off. It's kind of hard to control, though, to be honest. All right, there's also a bug with gliding. As you notice, Noah is looking straight down, but he's moving forward right now, right? So rather than just going straight down, he's going straight down and forward. I know this is a bug, and apparently it's something to do with the surfing or something like that. You know, it's when you're jumping out the bus only, it doesn't seem to happen any other time. So to actually get the lowest glide, it's kind of difficult. So as you're doing it, Noah's here, he's like spinning around. You see he goes straight down there. There's a way to fix it as far as I'm aware. But if you just look down, you might not have actually played a game off the battle bus yet if you've just played with the surfing. Be warned that you will continue to move forward and it will mess up your drop. So if you've got custom games, jump into that, play some scrims, play any tournament possible, rank cups, wherever it is. Try to get used to the gliding because I'm not sure how long this... Pardon me, I'm not sure how long this bug's going to be in for. So Noah's sitting for a bush and a supply drop drops it. Now, supply drops are actually in competitive. I can't remember the last time they were. I think maybe last season they were. I can't remember before that. But I guess it's a pretty good spawn for them. I don't know, like, if there's any, consistency with where they spawn, if you can predict them, if they predict zones, any of that kind of stuff. I don't think they predict zones because they didn't last season. Oh, they weren't last season, I remember, because they didn't. But they are definitely worth going for in the kind of early and mid game. He got, what, a purple AR and a self-revive. So let me show you the loot you can get. So in terms of weapons, there's a 30% chance that you're going to get Deadeye. There's also like 2 that spawn. 30% chance you get an AR. 30% chance you roughly can get a micro SMG. And you can't get a sniper. This is in pubs. This loot pool's in pubs right now. This isn't in the comp section. These numbers will change slightly because the snipers aren't in. So these will be slightly higher rate. But like that's a good chance you're going to get a really good pump. Like a 6, let's say 20% chance, counting for the sniper being out, roughly, that you're going to get like a good pump out of this. And if you scroll down to like the consumables, there's also a 15% chance that you'll get a self-revive, and 4 of them spawn. There's like 4 of these items that will spawn in each of them. So, there is a pretty good chance you're going to get this. If not, you've also got a good chance of getting other heals. What did he get? All right, so he was opening it. He got 2 sets of minis, at least. 1 AR, a purple AR. I thought it spawned 2 weapons, maybe not. And a self-revive. So he got 3 heals. Maybe he got like 3 stacks of minis or 2 self-revives or something like that here. But basically like 3 heals and one of them being a self-revive. So if you need a self-revive, go for it here. Again, I think self-revive's more useful in team modes than it is in solos, because there's actually a chance for your teammate to like hold the wall while you're boxed up and you self-revive, rather than like in solos. I don't know, like there's not very many instances of people actually using it, but you can get more placement out of self-reviving. That's another story. There's also a pretty cool rotate he does here into the 6th zone. So it pops. He goes instantly by foot. There's no real need to use the wingsuit here because he just fly in the air and be exposed. And I'll speed up just because it'll be boring. As he gets here, he gets a fishing rod, right? This is some really nice awareness, actually. He jumps over to the front, chucks his 2 bigs a couple times, boxes up, reharvests all the bricks, still cap, and then fishes, right? Look at this RNG, by the way. There's no fishing spots here. Fishes. He gets a flopper. He gets a shield fish, and then he gets another shield fish. A shield fish, by the way, 10% chance from no fishing spots, and he's just got 2 in a row. What are the odds of that, actually? I absolutely could have done that maths myself. It's 1 in 100. The probability of that happening is 1 in 100. There you go. That's not as rare as I thought it was, but I absolutely could have done that maths myself. Now, he's out here for this entire rest of the zone and not got another single shield fish, if you notice all the other stuff that he's got. So, the luck doesn't carry on from there. I imagine he's probably going to drop the minis and take the shield fish. No, there's 2 bigs. There's still 2 bigs. Okay, I don't know why you would pick up 2 shield fish over 2 bigs, I will be honest, but that one doesn't make too much sense to me. Maybe a brain fart. I don't know. All right, something he does here, which is really nice, is he's on this kind of low layer, which I think he's blocked by everything. Let me check. Yeah, he's kind of blocked. He's in this like really awkward spot here where, there's a bunch of people behind him, a bunch of people above him. And he just tarps out to start with. Now, he does actually get beamed here. Get rid of that. He does get beamed to start with, down to 29 HP. But because he's done this little stagger where he's gotten ahead, he now has, like, no one blocking his top or whatever, so he can fly from here. But more importantly, the zone timing of this makes way more sense. Like, as we noticed before, from what are the... totally forgot. Major and everyone else we watched before, we saw, like, tank some storm, so that then the zone moves further this way, so that you can actually just fly into the full rotation. I don't know why this is still drawing. Thank you. Thank you for stopping. So here, now, I'll see if he does the timing right. I'm not 100% sure. Gets rid of this. He places the high walls above him, as we already know, to protect. Yep, does a high wall. So here, I actually think this might be a little mistake, because the one thing, if you wait until the very last second, hopefully no one builds over you, right? I think there's no one behind him here at all, right? Yeah, there's no one actually behind him here at all. So say here he waits until the very last second. That would give him, well, let's actually see where he lands, because the theory here is he'll actually just be able to land in the next zone and save some more materials here. Or from this, he lands up high. Maybe he just wanted to land up high anyway, so he can just take height. Okay, he took height anyway. So it worked out for him, took height. But my theory that I was going to go for those, if he staggered, so he moved like, to this position, waited for the zone to catch up, then when he used the wingsuit, he could fly straight into the next zone by then. So like the stagger into single wingsuit use means you can basically get ahead of every single zone there. But he ended up taking height instead, so it worked out. This guy's now gonna, I was gonna say this guy's gonna fly from backside, but someone else is seemingly going to try and do that instead. What is this guy doing backside, bro? Give it up. Oh, the full piece. This guy's been cracked twice. Hit white. And he's still going for height. Who is this guy? Who is this? I love Trent, mate. That guy's an absolute psychopath. Why is he full build fighting? Anyway, that's not the meta. Front side, and now he's in. Okay, cool. And insta build up height again. Height is so good this season because so many people are just flying. Now, hopefully, obviously, they can just also psycho land on your head, which is not great. You absolutely do not want that. But you can get like a lot of angles onto players who are just flying. Like if you're high enough, you can get super free beams onto players who are just using the wingsuit in the kind of first and second moving zones. So one of the things I was doing yesterday was staying high up at the start of the moving zones because everyone's just using the wingsuits. You can get such free damage onto everyone. I mean, I can't because I can't aim. But if someone who could aim did that, they'd be pretty good. Yeah, there's a prime example. Absolutely a prime example of that. Noah can aim. He reconnects up onto height. Some guy uses it from backside. Bang, 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 bang. Dead. I wonder if using like a higher ADS sensitivity makes sense this season. I know that sounds ridiculous. And it probably doesn't actually make any sense or difference at all. But, ooh, he's chopped out. Yeah, I'm just theorizing. Okay, he lost height here. There's a guy right there. I have found something far too funny. Noah is alive on height, right? Both of the other two players here are knocked. So firstly, this is Ragdoll's great. This guy's cheating, bro. He's a cheater. Don't show this. Block his name. Block his name. But yeah, they're both knocked because they have self-revive. So he's able to win. He didn't even kill them. They both just died of storm, just rolling around bottom. That's funny. This is kind of what I mean. I'm kind of on this like roughly height position down here. Congest is there. Man, look at this. Look at that. Clinical. Absolutely clinical. You can't teach that positioning. And zone's pulling down to this left. So all these people are going to use their wingsuits. So from this position, you know, if I could aim. Look at this guy. Look at this guy just backflipping. It was impossible to hit. But yeah, as everyone here just sits and flies to the sky. Like, imagine I could actually aim. Obviously, I can't. But from this position, you could just get like... If I was Muzz, Peterbot, like, I'm getting like 3 kills at this point. I'm just missing everyone instead. Yeah, beam that guy. There we go. We hit some shots. We hit some shots at least. And go front. Same thing again. Little build up. Barely even connects. Mate, it's so hard to see. There's just clouds. Guy. Yeah, I covered my head here because I was like, yeah, someone's going to land on the wingsuit. And then they stopped. So I went up. Just tried to make sure no one was landing on my head and 50-50ing me. And then more people wingsuit from backside, but I'm not paying attention. Oh, there you go. Crack. Like, imagine I could aim here. Look how many free kills you get just by sitting on high layers because everyone just flies so high up into the sky. Yeah, this game, I also want to show you a bad rotate I did. Show how it goes wrong. Firstly, oh, the piece. Piece! Woo! Anyway, that guy got put in the blender. But this was one of my earlier... Yeah, this is one of my earlier games. I had already hypothesized the high walls. As you can see, I've done them there. Waiting for this guy hit a 73. Maybe I shouldn't have shot this guy because he started to be a little mental. There you go. High walls. So I'd figured this out game 3. I'm so smart. So I just fire through the center of zone. This is literally like the worst thing you could do because if you watch from the guy who I've just shot's POV, this is why I say it's a controller season, bro. Look at this. Bang. See there, I did the dip where I rather than just, if I just gone straight down here, I probably would have been fine. But I tried to like wave way too high into the sky. You can't be doing that at this point in the game. And then, yeah, this game's fun. How has this guy got such a... Why have I got such a wide FOV in this? Hey, this FOV is crazy. How have I managed this? I'm going to have a lot more extra videos coming out this season in particular because it's the big Unreal Cup where you can win, actually make earnings at the end of the season. May this FOV is throwing my outro off. So subscribe, of course, and I will catch you later. Peace.